Stop for a moment and ask yourself a very simple, yet uncomfortable question. How many of the thoughts in your head are truly your own? How many of your desires, your tastes, and your opinions were actually planted there by someone else? We like to believe that we are rational individuals making our own free choices in life. We choose what to eat for breakfast, what clothes to wear, and which political party to support. But what if I told you that this feeling of free will is often a carefully constructed illusion? What if I told you that the modern world was designed by a man whose name you have probably never heard? Welcome to the story of Edward Bernays, the man who taught the world how to lie professionally. Bernays was born in Vienna in 1891, but he grew up in the bustling city of New York. He had a very famous uncle back in Europe, a man named Sigmund Freud. Freud had just shocked the world with his revolutionary theories about the human mind. He claimed that humans are not ruled by logic, but by deep, dark, and conscious desires. He argued that hidden sexual and aggressive drives motivate almost everything we do. While Freud used these ideas to try and cure mental illness, his nephew Edward saw a different opportunity. Edward Bernays realized that if you could tap into these unconscious desires, you could control people. You could make them buy things they didn't need and support wars they didn't understand. In the 1920s, Bernays opened an office in New York and invented a new profession. He called it Council on Public Relations because the word propaganda had a bad reputation after World War I. But make no mistake, Bernays was the undisputed father of modern propaganda. His first major success changed the way America ate breakfast forever. In the 1920s, most Americans ate a very light breakfast, usually just coffee and a roll. The Beech Nut Packing Company, a major producer of pork products, hired Bernays to increase sales of bacon. Bernays didn't just run ads saying bacon tastes good. He knew that wasn't enough. He realized that people trusted authority figures, especially doctors, when it came to their health. So, he contacted a famous physician and asked him a very leading question. "Doctor, would you agree that a heavy breakfast is healthier than a light breakfast because the body loses energy during the night?" The doctor, thinking logically about calorie intake, agreed with this statement. Bernays then asked the doctor to write to 5,000 other physicians to confirm this opinion. Once he had thousands of doctors agreeing that a heavy breakfast was healthy, the trap was set. He published the results in newspapers across the country with headlines like "Doctors recommend a heavy breakfast." Crucially, he never explicitly told people to buy bacon. He simply suggested that bacon and eggs were the perfect example of this new healthy breakfast. Sales of bacon skyrocketed nationwide, and a new cultural tradition was born overnight. Americans were not eating bacon because they suddenly craved pork. They were eating it because they believed an authority figure had told them it was the right thing to do. But his most famous and manipulative campaign was yet to come. In the late 1920s, the American Tobacco Company faced a massive cultural problem. Half of the population women basically did not smoke cigarettes. It was considered taboo and socially unacceptable for a woman to smoke in public. The president of the company famously told Bernays, "We are losing half of our market because of a silly prejudice." Bernays consulted with a psychoanalyst to understand what cigarettes symbolized in the unconscious mind. The analyst told him that for women, a cigarette was a phallic symbol of male power and freedom. If Bernays could connect smoking with the rising feminist movement, he could break the taboo. He decided to stage a dramatic event during the famous Easter Day Parade in New York City. He hired a group of young, fashionable debutantes to march in the parade. At a prearranged signal, all the women stopped and lit up cigarettes at the exact same moment. Bernays had already tipped off the press that something scandalous was going to happen. He told the reporters that these women were lighting torches of freedom. He branded the cigarettes not as cancer-causing sticks, but as symbols of equality and liberation from men. The newspapers loved the story, and photos of the smoking women flashed across the country. Within weeks, the taboo was broken, and smoking became a symbol of the modern, independent woman. The tobacco companies made billions, and millions of women eventually died of lung cancer. They weren't smoking for freedom. They were smoking because a manipulative genius had hacked their minds. Bernays proved that you don't need force to control a democratic society. You can control people much more effectively by manipulating their desires and fears. He wrote in his book Propaganda that the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the masses is an important element in democratic society. He believed that the public was too irrational and stupid to make their own decisions. He argued that an invisible government of elites had to guide the herd for their own good. Today, the techniques invented by Bernays are everywhere. They are used by politicians to win your vote, by corporations to get your money, and by social media to get your attention. The hidden logic of the modern world is that your consent is not given freely. It is manufactured. You are not a citizen in a democracy. You are a consumer in a carefully engineered marketplace. So the next time you feel a strong desire to buy something or believe in a cause, stop and ask yourself, is this really what I want, or is this what Bernays wants me to want? Recognizing the manipulation is the first step to reclaiming your own mind. If you want to learn more about how the system works, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We are here to uncover the history they hide from you. Leave a comment below. What is the biggest lie you think we are told today? And if you want to see how they use these techniques to sell us useless things, check out our previous video on the diamond lie. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will explore how they use these exact same methods to convince the world that sugar was healthy and fat was the enemy.